What's the guarantee? E&E. With your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no breaks. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through transparency. Hurt his self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like push the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick around jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more than measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple high shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane nonstop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we begging pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they need pardon. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. I'm so heavy, trying to get shot, no vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chick. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Yeah. What up? You already know it's the man about town, Virgil, aka Stacks with the Facts. And y'all know we right here, man, about to get straight to it on A Real Talk Podcast, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, hit the bell and all of that. Meet and greet each other as y'all come up in. Mikey Barslow, what's good? King L's in the building, what's good? I'm going to drop the link for you, brother. And, how you in the queue, I'm going to bring you up here shortly, brethren. What's good with everybody out there, man? You know what I'm saying? What's going on with y'all, man? How y'all doing? How y'all evening going tonight, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. We here. We in the building. You know what I'm saying? We here. We in the building. It's Tuesday night. Y'all already know what it is. E&E Tuesdays with my brother King Els. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see what the title of the show is, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Andrew Tate. You feel me? It's going down, man. How y'all doing this evening, man? We here in the building, man. Everybody meet and greet each other as y'all come up in, man. What's going on with everybody, man? How y'all doing? Hope y'all had a beautiful day today so far. I know I did. It's a beautiful evening as well. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful evening, man. Beautiful, beautiful evening. We already got the victory. We woke up today. You understand what I'm saying? We woke up. We got the use of all of our, you know what I'm saying, bodily functions, man, and our faculties is all here. So we got the victory and the glory. You hear what I'm talking about? Serious business, man. How's everybody doing this evening, though, man? Y'all already know we in here tonight, man. April Talk Podcast. We got King L's waiting in the queue. We're about to bring him up here shortly. You know what I'm saying, man? And yeah, man, y'all know we about to get to it, man. You know what I'm talking about, man, tonight. So Lance Parker, what's good with you, brethren? How you doing? You already know we got my man LP in the building. We about to get straight to it. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, y'all, man, y'all see the title of the show, man. Last night's show, you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? My computer was acting crazy. I don't know what was going on with the PC, but it's working fine right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, last night, man, we went in though. You know what I'm talking about? Psychological transgenderism, which is leading perfectly, segueing perfectly into what we're talking about tonight, because all of this stuff is connected, right? All of this stuff is connected. Everything's connected. You know what I mean? Make no mistake about it. Everything's connected. So last night we was talking about psychological transgenderism, you know what I'm saying? And how it's being targeted towards basically all men and males, but specifically young males, specifically, especially young black males, right? You hear me? On all levels, numerous levels. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man? Psychological transgenderism, like I said, y'all, man. You hear me? And it's real. We proved it last night. Like I said, just like how my brother Red, shout out to my brother Red Supreme 31, going in right now, chopping it up about this hip hop. Like, we ain't letting up on that. The more y'all keep coming with telling us that somebody has something to do with creating it, and we know y'all did, and we got the historical proof to shatter that shit, we're going to keep doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like with this psychological transgenderism, y'all trying to rewrite history. Y'all trying to, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all trying to manipulate our perception of reality. We're having us thinking 2 + 2 = 5, telling us that our little boys can just wake up one day and say they're a little girl, or our little girls can wake up and just say, I want to be a boy. Even making legislation that is giving them the ability to have hormones injected in their bodies, and even surgical procedures. What y'all know about that? All right? What y'all know about that? So that's why it's saying it's leading perfectly into tonight's show. We're talking about censorship, right? Amongst other things, you know what I'm saying? The attack on censorship, free speech, censorship, and masculinity, right? Y'all see I used the homie Andrew Tate. I'm sorry about that. Use Andrew Tate for a thumbnail for lots of reasons. One, I like Andrew Tate. You hear me? I respect Andrew Tate. I don't see no lying in Andrew Tate. I don't see him putting on a facade or an act. That's him. You hear me? Right? And now, mind y'all, when it comes to Andrew Tate, and this is one of the main reasons why I respect him, and this is why, you know, some of people who have the ability to make it to a certain status in life, they aren't a part of the structure. They're renegades. And this is why they shut stuff down, because they don't want people like Andrew Tate getting rich and making money and having a voice and influence. He ain't a part of nothing. Oh, I've done my research on Andrew Tate. He's not connected to anything. His dad is black. His dad ain't a part of no Divine Nine. His dad wasn't a part of no fraternal organizations or none of that shit. All right. Glitch the guarantee in the building. What's good, man? What's good with you, brethren? You feel me? So we ain't gonna do that. And that's why I use Andrew Tate, because they just canceled that. Now, mind you, Andrew Tate don't have no social media. He don't have a Facebook page. He don't have an Instagram page. He don't have a Twitter or none of that. Think about that. And that's one of the main reasons why I respect Andrew Tate. You hear me? He made his bones being a champion world-class fighter. That's why he's popular and famous. And rich, I guess, now too. Right? But he's a perfect example of tonight's show and the topic of tonight's show. He's a perfect example. The attack on free speech, censorship, and masculinity. Can anybody deny it? And this ain't just masculinity amongst us black men, as you see, even though who would have ever thought Andrew Tate is a black guy? I said Andrew Tate is a black guy. His dad is black. I don't know. To y'all who don't know that, right? Andrew Tate is a black guy. He's not a white guy. He's black. If your daddy black, you black. I want y'all to understand and know that, right? So yeah, man, freedom of speech, man, censorship and masculinity, all under attack, heavily, thoroughly. You hear me? Under attack heavily and thoroughly, y'all. And we cannot allow, right, the powers that be to destroy hip-hop in the way that they trying to do it. Just like how they doing with everything else. We can't allow them to take freedom of speech from us. Censorship. You know what I'm saying? Masculinity. We can't allow these things to be usurped, as I say. All right? Hold on real quick, y'all. We can't allow these things to be usurped, man. We can't allow these things to be hijacked from us. Once again, we absolutely cannot allow that. It is imperative that we defend it at all costs. We defend freedom of speech. We defend masculinity at all costs. Do y'all over and understand how important that is? Right? The freedom of speech is directly connected with our freedom to think. Exactly, Lance Parker. Exactly. That's exactly what they had planned for KS. But, you know, unfortunately, he passed, man. Rest in the essence to Kevin Samuels, man. Rest in the essence to Kevin Samuels, man. You know what I'm talking about? You know, now freedom of speech is something that we got to really, really defend, y'all. It's important that we defend freedom of speech. It's imperative that we defend freedom of speech because, like I said, it's connected to our freedom to think. And once our freedom of speech gets curtailed by restriction due to somebody being offended or it's being, in fact, against the law, that's going to automatically limit our thinking eventually, especially that of the children. And censorship is just terrible. Everything should be allowed to be said, seen, and heard up until or after the point of delivery. Never before the point of delivery, no matter how offensive it may be. And when it comes to masculinity, y'all, man, y'all can call me a chauvinist. Y'all can call me a basher. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about me. I don't care. I can take it. My skin is Teflon, dragon skin, reinforced steel, titanium steel thick. You hear me? It means nothing to me, man. You hear me? It's serious, man. Y'all got to think. This dude, Andrew Tate, don't care about being deleted from the internet. He didn't even have no social media. ain't had no effect on his business. He was already rich before he can't start coming on guys' platforms and stuff. You feel me? But look at what the homie representing. Andrew Tate, and I think this is very controversial right here, L. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what you think about this. I'm about to bring you up here shortly. I think the reason why they came for Andrew Tate the way they did because they found out he was black. Now y'all know I'm not never one to play the race card because we don't do the race card over here. You know what I'm saying? Except when it applies, but not as a scapegoat or victimhood type measure. Hell, oh no, we don't do that over here. Right? We ablaze black folks like we ablaze anybody else. You hear me? But think about what I just said though. You know me? Right? I think once Andrew Tate let it be known that his father was black, that's when they got rid of him. Huh? What you think about that, L? What you think about that, L? You gotta turn your mic on, bro.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yeah, bro. That's the first time I heard he was black.
Oh yeah, you ain't know?
Nah, I know he from like the UK, right?
Nah, that's where he was raised at, man. He from over here in America, man. I'm about to pull it up for you right now, man.
Okay. Yeah, nah, I
I'll
didn't
pull
know he
it up
was
for you
black.
right now, man.
See, I remember him from Big Brother, you know, that TV show the one joint I be watching. He was on there for a hot second and they took him off. Like that was some years back. A little controversial thing. It was crazy because when they took him off, it was because he was like doing wrestling with like a female and they was cool and it went on the internet and people, you know, that was like around when the Me Too movement was really at its height and everything was sensitive and they got him kicked off of Big Brother. But the girl even came out and was like, that was how we play. Like, you know, sometimes you got girls is rough, like how you play with. And that's how they use it. She was like, yeah, that's how we kick it. Like, it wasn't nothing like that. Even after she even said that, they still got him off of Big Brother. So that's when I didn't even remember until they brought it back up again. And I was like, oh yeah, now I remember it because you know now he totally different. Like he got a whole persona. You know, it's different. Like when you see somebody on one of those TV shows than when you see them like 5, 6 years later. So yeah, nah. But one thing I will say, I agree with you on this. And before I even get into that, let me make sure I do my right thing that I always do. How was your day, brother? Stacks? What? All right. Yeah. One thing I will say about my man Tate until Stacks gets back or whatever is that I feel like you're definitely right. The way the censorship, not even to do anything with him, we could take him out the equation. The censorship, this is a slippery slope, y'all. You know, we don't want to get into this. It ain't got nothing to do with him because my thing is, I feel like censorship is if it uh, spreads maybe like something that harms people or damages people. But like Virgil also said, you gotta at least give people the right to say what they say, whether you don't agree with it or not. And what made me even think of this was I was watching a Candace Owens clip, and it kind of, you know, we always talk about this. This is a reoccurring topic that's always going to generate itself just because of the type of society we live in. But it basically just made me think, like, damn, like they really took this man off of, basically tried to get him off of everything. I think all he got now is a Twitch. So they took him off Twitter, which Twitter is wild. They took him on Facebook, whatever, on YouTube. Like even if you upload a clip of his video, they got it to the point where they had take it down, your account down, and on YouTube, if you even post it again, they find out they delete your YouTube channel and try to stop any other YouTube channel that you create, which is wild. And let me tell you, this man didn't say anything to make nobody go hurt anyone. He did like, I mean, when you listen to it, what's crazy is the shit he said is what a lot of women even agree with. Like he didn't say nothing that was like super wild or anything. You
Right.
call him misogynistic and all that, but at the end of the day, that goes on both sides. So are we going to go around banning everybody that
Right.
has a view that you may feel is misogynistic to somebody else? It may be their logic or their reality,
Right.
and that's a difference in opinion.
We got Cupcake in the building.
Cupcake was good. Lance Parker, what's up? Glitch to guarantee in the building. Mikey Barzo, what up? What up?
Yeah, you
But
already know that.
yeah. So I mean, when you're just thinking about the whole situation, it's a slippery slope because where does it end? Like, when did this begin? Where does it end? And when we think about it, the Trump thing. They took Trump's Twitter away and all that. And his was a little bit more controversial. I get it, but I still didn't agree with the banning of him either.
Yeah, I
I
ain't
don't. I
agree with
just
the
don't
banning
agree
of
with the
anybody,
banning of
man.
anybody. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
like,
I feel like you should be able to say what you say.
yeah.
It is whatever. And
If you
you know,
say something that's contrary, though, and intelligent, well-read, study, and learn and research, critical thinking people like me and my brethren, L, shut that bullshit down if it's some bullshit, man. We ain't worried about you
yeah.
can say whatever you want.
And people gonna think of what they want to think of. Like you got TV shows that disagree. Like so, this is my thing. Like, where does it end?
Right.
Because I don't even know where it began. Because when I've listened to him, I'm not like I'll say like a huge like fan. Like when people say people worship people, that's I understand you do have super fans out there, so I
Right.
get it. But
Skelly in the building. What's good?
was good, Skelly. So I skimmed through some of his work, and you know, he was himself. Like that was his opinion. Some things just like anybody. Some things I might agree with. Some things I might not.
Right.
That's how you move. I get it. And some things, all right, I rock with that. It makes sense. Like you connect dots. Like and what he actually got banned for was they said they based it off of misogyny. They didn't say it insinuated any violence. They basically said he was hurting people's feelings, and they banned this man. Y'all listen to me. This man didn't insinuate nothing.
You,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Nothing. So you just gotta think about it. It's just something really wild, and it's something that we gotta keep an eye on because it's scary, y'all. Like when they could ban somebody like that who didn't insinuate any kind of violence in any kind of way. Uh, it's
Right.
definitely shaky grounds we playing with here, you
It
know.
is slippery
And like
slopes
you said,
everywhere, man.
and he didn't even like he wasn't even a cat that was like I don't even think he personally posted anything. Like he
That's
might
so he
be
didn't have no social media. He just was a guest
not
on other social media platforms.
self-generated. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Self-generated.
I
So
mean, he's a world class champion fighter, 7-time world champion kickboxer in K1. He been doing well in the octagon. Him and his brother is rich. His brother's a champion too. They done took their money, invested. They own casinos. They own real estate. You know what I'm talking about? They got stock in some of them Russian chain of grocery stores over there. So I done looked into who these Tate dudes is, man. They official. And they dad is black. So
yeah,
hold on. Matter of fact, we about to listen to this real quick, man. Listen to this.
Oh, you can't pay for it though.
Okay, I can't pay for it?
No.
Dang.
No
304s are
prostitutes.
everywhere. Let's just say that straight up.
Okay,
But
how would
like,
you do it?
if I'm a high status man, like how you guys like to
Oh, so
say
you're
it.
gonna put yourself in the top 1%.
Of course, baby.
Okay.
This is my
I got it.
We'll give it to you. Hold on. Go
I'm
ahead.
a high class man. There are obviously women who are gonna come at me.
No, tell us. Sorry. Where you gonna find her? How are you gonna approach her?
There you go.
I'll be the
Okay,
girl.
where it doesn't matter who I am.
You're a high status man.
I'm a high status man, baby. Girls are gonna flock to me regardless.
No.
I like
Set it up when you meet the girl. Set it up. You got it, right?
So let's just say if I'm a regular schmegler, I'm gonna give you a regular schmegler compared to 1%. Regular schmegler, I'm gonna find a 304 on the street, fuck her, and call it a day. I got money.
Nigga,
How are you
That's
fucking her,
fine.
bro?
Break it down for us, step by step. Break it down for us.
Break it down. I'm gonna drive to see a girl, be like, "You cute, come in my car and pay you." But if I'm a 1% man,
Hold
if I'm a 1% man,
Hold on.
there are women
I
who
respond?
naturally want me.
Can I respond to you?
Of course.
All right,
He's gonna be the
Sheena.
girl.
So you pull up in the car, right?
Okay.
Sheena,
I pull up in a car.
you say you're cute.
You're
Come in the
cute.
car.
You look good. What's up with you?
Nigga, who are you?
Oh my baby, I'm the one who's gonna pay you tonight. Let's get it.
See, that right there proves to y'all how much these chicks do not know us, man. You hear me? No. That's definitely not what even if you a trick nigga with some bread, you ain't doing that bullshit right there. Virgil 85 was good. You hear me, L, man? If you even if you is a trick ass nigga, you ain't pulling down tight on no bra like that though, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some type of discreet or something though. Come on, let's go, y'all. Let's go. Girls are goddamn silly, man.
I can't pay for sex, no sex, okay? No pay for sex.
You have to do it organically.
Organically? Okay,
So-
honestly, I'm gonna play with like what I know makes a woman feel
Role play.
good.
Don't
Okay, go.
Go ahead.
So I know like a woman likes to feel like a
Listen,
woman
yo,
feels
okay,
good
hold on,
when
Hey,
you're connected.
stop. You're hurting the show's quality.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies, it's
You are.
fucking simple. Just tell us where you would go,
Okay.
what you would say. He's gonna play the girl. It's gonna be role play.
Pause.
I want to know exactly what you would say. How would you go about
All right,
getting
Fresh.
laid?
Role play with me real quick.
About your theory. Just
Role
say
play.
it. What it is.
It's like faster. Role play with me real quick.
It's like a verse.
So where do you meet? Where do you meet?
We meet. I'm pulling up on the
South
main
Beach.
South Beach. Okay, let's go.
Wynwood.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's do that.
Cool.
All right, I'm the guy. You look good tonight. I'm interested in you.
Thanks.
I could show you a really good experience if you just trust me.
What?
Where?
At my place.
That's a place, bitch.
Of course. You know,
Man, y'all hear this shit, man? Oh man, my man Skelly said you smell that barbecue in the air. That's me. I know I'm talking. No, that's right. Do y'all hear this, bro, man? Let's go,
That's
man.
wild.
I can show you the big account and I can really get to kids.
I want to go on a date first.
Of course, I can take you out to the finest restaurant in Miami. Where you want to go?
I want to go to Nusrat.
Let's go right now.
Let's go.
All right, we're eating now, and I paid the bill. And I want to take you to my place and show you something nice.
I have work in the morning. Sorry.
That's fine, baby. We could do some in 1 hour, 2 hours. We can have some fun. It was
What?
fun for me to finish.
When these guys give you
Absolutely.
scenarios, you think they're being dry, right? You think they're giving you dry replies, and you're like, well, what can I really say to thank you or like them?
No, that's
Shout out to the homie Andrew Tate, man. I like Andrew Tate.
For the most part, yeah.
Correct. So, correct me if I'm wrong. If you're semi-interested, you reply. If you're 0% interested, you don't reply. So even those dry replies is semi-interest. You are because you wouldn't reply at all if you had no interest, right? So even a reply is some degree of interest. So even though it seems dry and hard, and like, well, what can I say to this? You are interested, but you're just testing us to the max. Like, well,
Exactly.
what can this fucker pull out the bag?
They're butt naked in the streets. In the streets. Butt naked in the street. The hookers are naked in the streets. You gotta see it to believe.
You
it.
can't.
It's not they wearing fancy clothes. They're butt naked,
Hot
man.
pants, letting you finger
Oh, man,
them.
what the hell?
You know, just
The hell was that?
Yeah, that was wild, Verge. But yeah, I mean, the whole road.
Nah, but hold on. That's not even what the hell I wanted to show, though. For real, for real. Hold on, man. That ain't even what I wanted to show.
I seen that clip before.
When a black billionaire meets a white billionaire.
No, that's not what I wanted to show. I wanted him to when he said something about old girl, man.
Cam, that boy. Vernon 85, what up, what up? Skelly got that barbecue popping.
He said he
I'm
got
in
that.
Miami, baby. I'm
Yeah,
from
man.
Orlando. Fucker tonight.
Hurting the show's quality.
Oh my
Baby, the
god.
man, the truth, what up, what up?
Let's go.
All right, we're eating now.
If you're semi-hard, and like, well, what can I say to this? You are interested, but you're just
They're butt
Why,
naked
why,
in
why,
the
the-
street.
why the fuck did they go to a Mike Tyson? That was
so
weird,
give it a
man.
dry reply.
Hold on, man. I'm about to find this shit real quick, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's crazy. Like you said, Jalen the man, the truth, he got canceled all because he spoke the truth, and it pissed people off. And they labeled it misogynistic, that he was inciting misogynistic views to the youth. I sent Virgil an article he might put up later that broke down like how he got banned and all that. It's even a video on there. And that shit crazy, man. It's just crazy how they even had the audacity to even word it like that. Because it's so many people that has their views stuck in their ways. These women, they have their view that they can be misogynistic. Anybody could, you can make a comment that may be viewed as misogynistic by a certain group, and a whole other group might be like, that could be relatable to them. Misogyny is really an opinion. There's very few like instances where it's like some people try to be that, but a lot of time when I see some of the shit that people get enraged for, it's like I don't even know, man. That especially I don't know. Maybe it was the era I grew up in, man. Like growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was wild, and I understand it was really wild. Like we seen a lot of shit in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s. So I don't know. It's like this whole culture is really soft to a lot of shit. Like it's like the truth is not the most acceptable form of acceptance.
You're not gonna
It's
find
crazy.
a guy.
There's one thing they say is that the
Yeah,
to
no.
be able to deal
hate
with
and the false spreads
like,
faster than
you're
the
asserting
truth.
yourself. You have like this A
And
type
that's real.
personality, and I could already tell if a
Alpha
dude's
female.
Oh, that's not it, man.
They're gonna spread them lies faster than they're gonna spread the truth. So they want you to hear that other shit.
I'm in Miami, baby. I'm
Okay.
from our street. No,
Get this fucker pull out the bag.
They're butt.
Misogynistic. They are banning people for being misogynistic. Not hateful.
Oh, fuck it. I can't find that shit. That's all good. Count that boy. What's good, man?
You could go online and find hate speeches right now. And Google hate speeches. All kinds of shit.
Can.
Like
Dave Chappelle was right back in the day when he had that when he had the haters ball.
Oh, real shit.
Remember when Dave Chappelle came out with the haters ball, y'all?
Yeah.
Nah, but it's all. I mean, how long have I been talking about this, though? Man, I'm gonna take
Because
it to a point.
You know why they really canceled
and
him?
it's gonna be so in your face, and so it's gonna be so raw and uncut and in your face that you're not gonna be able to deny it and hide or see it. You know what I'm saying? Not be able to not say that it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, stop.
I'm just saying, for a guy like Andrew Tate to get canceled he didn't do absolutely anything. You know what I'm saying?
You know what he did? He told men to. He has a view on how men should be based on old school values. Like he always says, I was raised by an old school man, such as most of us who were raised in that era.
Jalen, the man, the truth in the building was good.
And he got banned for telling men to be
men,
the old school men that we grew up to know. Like basically, that I don't even think that had nothing to do with misogynistic. I think when he didn't get canceled until he said that thing about him not wanting his kid to be gay.
Nah, ain't nothing. That's not no. He ain't. I want to. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna say when he admitted when he was black. That's when he came under attack.
Yeah, but he caught the heat. The heat started when he said that when he said that comment about him not wanting this kid to be gay and that he would do everything in his power to make sure that would never happen. And you know who you can't mess with. Dave Chappelle tells you.
Yes, we can. Who said that? Hey, we don't give a damn about none of that over here, huh?
Not over,
We
but
still. Hey, listen here. Let me come up for this. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. I don't
I'm
give about
talking
no
about
damn
on the
Dave
Lord's
Chappelle.
street.
Over here at A Real Talk Podcast, we don't bar none of that shit. You
Mm-mm.
hear me? We don't bar none of that shit. We don't give a damn about no LGBTQ LMNOP barbecue committee agenda.
I
Huh?
ain't scared of you
We'll
motherfuckers.
scare
Like
y'all right
Bernie
in the
Mac said.
goddamn face and challenge y'all on all fronts. You hear me?
Listen,
With logic, reason, and facts. We'll dare y'all to try to say something to us. Get us canceled. There ain't nothing to cancel. All right?
it's a
And
bunch
then
of
you gotta
shit
think about it like this. Today's oppressor comes tomorrow's victim, man. They're gonna come for you.
If they could do it like that, that's nuts. That's crazy. But you could go in there and find hate speeches right now.
All right.
That's wild. We in
We
wild
ain't worried
times.
about none of that, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all right now, over here at A Real Talk, we don't bar none of that shit.
Nah, we gonna keep it even. You know what I mean? Like me and Stacks had different views sometimes. Y'all be on here. Like we might have two different views, but we
We
gonna
supposed to. Like this ain't no echo chamber over here, man.
just like I told y'all before. Like as any man, there's nothing that any other man like you said. I don't care, idolize whatever. That you should 100% agree with somebody 100% of the time. Like it's almost damn near impossible.
Uncle Diggity.
Like real stuff right there. Uncle Diggity, what up, what up?
Yeah, we ain't going though over these parts, man.
You just really gotta know what it is, man. And my thing is, if they start trying to take away opinions, we are in what Virgil called one of the favorite books ever. We're gonna fall victim into that cycle, and we're watching it getting played out.
Right. And that's why I say we can't acquiesce, we can't comply. We ain't gotta worry about the so-called alleged illusory power. And listen to me. Listen to me when I say illusory, y'all. Right? When I say illusory, I mean illusory in its nature. The power that this so-called little niche group think they have, right? It's only as real as the people who give it to them make it so. So with that being said, you know what I mean? This is when it comes to us, the real ones. We got to stand as a united front and non-acquiesce and non-comply with this mess. We ain't going. I don't give a damn about the LGBT. I don't care nothing about how they feel or none of that stuff. They don't care about how we feel. But at the same time, I don't have no love, no hatred for you guys. I don't hate you guys. I don't want you guys to die. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. You know, I don't want none of that stuff. But this stuff that y'all got going on, especially with posting it on our children, we absolutely cannot have that. For one reason and one reason only above all the other reasons. Because it's just not right.
And
it's
that's
not natural.
That's why I feel
it's completely and totally not the original design, and we ain't going flat out.
I think he got banned, bro, because you can't say that when
yes,
you got
we can. I just said it. I literally just said it. You can
say it. Now you can say it, but in that type position, unfortunately, they flex their power on him. That's what they were showing. That's what
we gotta start showing them that we got more power than them.
But he do, because like you said, Burge, he built his 4.5 million following from just speaking his mind. He did it over like a 4-year period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he was, like you said, a guy with no social platforms.
Right.
And he built it like that.
Right.
And he didn't do nothing on his side. He just went to other people's stuff and talked his game. Like, y'all gotta listen. He didn't promote himself.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even make no TV shows or nothing. And he could be making mad bread doing that. He didn't even
making mad bread doing what else he do. What he doing?
He he didn't even care about that. He do that on his off time, like you said.
Right.
Right? He already rich. Like him doing that was just something. It was his hobby, talking shit, flexing. This is what I do. This is how I live. If you want to kind of be in the kind of guy that I am, this is how I like. Basically, all he was doing was telling you, this is what I do. This is how I get to where I get. This is what I do with the women that I got. Like, why can't you say what you do? Like a woman could get on here and tell you how niggas ain't shit and throw the McDonald's in the street. You know what I mean? When he's buying it for his kid, and we could sit here and we could laugh and joke about that, and we could play that a million times over and over.
Mm-hmm.
But a man that's telling you that he doesn't want his kid to be gay,
right,
and stood very firmly on it, to where he felt like he would try to instill his best to whatever, not let it happen. It just is kind of funny to me that right after that went viral, he was clipped and took him completely out.
Yeah.
Like all the way out of order.
That's how they doing it, man.
And then they even said it to the point where it's conspiracy. Like they're gonna hit you with conspiracy charges basically on these social engineering networks, to where they're gonna suspend your account and any other account you try to create.
That's some old Minority Report shit right there. You hear me?
Nuts.
And see, as we like I say, y'all, man, this is what's happening, y'all. What y'all always hear me talking about, man? What have I been talking about since I've been home? It's here. It's right in your face. You cannot hide it. You can't deny it, right? So it would be in your best interest. It would behoove you, right, to inform yourself what's going on and cop an ear and listen, man. Come over here to A Real Talk. Hit that like button, man. You hear me? Subscribe to the page and tell all your friends about it, man. Come over here while we chop this up and just dissect this stuff, man. Now listen. Freedom of speech, right? Our freedom to speak freely is directly connected to our freedom to think, right? And if you don't think it, you don't say it. Y'all better go read 1984, man. You hear me? And when it comes to the point to where our freedom of speech, which is directly connected and a direct result of our freedom to think, right? Now we get into censorship. And then we get into the very worst kind of censorship, which is self-censorship. Which, walking on eggshells. You hear me? Even to an extent, boxing cleverly is a mild sense of self-censorship. You hear me? If you want to get super technical with it, even when you box cleverly with your language, that's a sense of self-censorship. You feel me?
Can I be real though? Can I take it back to when they first started flexing they nuts on this situation? It was during the pandemic.
It was way before that though, but during the pandemic.
During the pandemic,
is when they really put the press hand down.
Because then they put it on social engineering, that now what they had that little fact check thing or whatever, or they might even take your comment down. Like if you said anything about like the coronavirus or something that they felt was something fucked up or whatever against the masses or some shit.
Right.
Like, I remember on Facebook it would literally pop up, or it would put like a fact thing next to your post and everything. They had them doing some crazy shit.
Right.
During the pandemic. Never seen that in my life. And that's when I felt like they first started, because then they started what they call it, shadow banning people. So then you couldn't even see the videos they was posting. You would have to go and type the whole name of the video out to even see certain videos or certain website pages. So it was really deep when they started doing it then. Mm-hmm. And now, like, they showed you the one guy, what was it? They had a TV show guy that they canceled, the YouTube dude. Then they did the Donald Trump. And now they doing Andrew Tate. And they really getting smaller and smaller with the people they're doing it with. Pretty soon, they're going to be able to do it to whoever they want. And they can. They're showing you they can. Because he didn't do shit. So, like I said, this is a slippery slope. I would feel like people, this is the type of thing people should be getting a little pissed off about. If you on social media, period, you should be a little pissed off about this because that means, what if they just kick you off of every social media network for something?
Hey, listen, if it can happen to Andrew Tate, it can happen to anybody. And that's
I
the main
think
thing
people,
I want y'all to pay attention to, man.
y'all better understand justice out here, and that's where justice come into play around the world. Like when we talk about court cases, all this stuff, like the first thing you should always think is, damn, if that happened to me, how would I feel? And if you feel some kind of way about it, then I mean that's the type of stuff that we should either talk about, express, or try to make some change about. And I feel like as content creators, I don't technically put myself all the way up there yet. You know what I mean? Stacks is definitely a content creator. And like when you're doing this stuff right here, you talking and you giving your truth, your opinion on what's going on. Who is somebody else to come and say that you're wrong and they're right? Unless it's just a flat out lie. You know what I mean? Like I said, we come on here to talk facts. Our opinion based things are opinions.
Right.
That's two totally separate things. And what Andrew Tate actually was doing, and he always referenced it back to himself. This is what I do. This is my lifestyle. This is how I feel. If you want to be like me, basically, because it was the image that he portrayed, that he lived. That's the character that he has became when he got the bread or whatever, however long he had the bread. That's him. So he's just being himself. Like we see Dan Brazilian, or I forget, I always fuck up how to say his name, but he's the same dude. Dude that just throws party with like 10 dudes and 200 chicks. Like, and Dan has been that dude for years. Like, now that's one dude who I was actually watching for years because he's just a dude that just throw dope ass parties. Like rappers talk about going to parties like better than the Playboy Mansion because he actually handpicks everything that comes in there. So everything in there, to my eyes, I mean, everybody has their own opinion on beauty, but to my eyes, everything is at least a 9 and up that touches his heart. And that's just the way he rolls. Like, and the parties are not, you know what I mean? Just like Drake, these celebrities, man, I'm trying to tell y'all better put.
That's not reality, though. This is why I want
It's
people to
not reality,
understand.
but it happens. But even without celebrities, if I was
Most
to tell
guys
people,
will never experience that type of lifestyle, though.
but Stacks, I could talk about certain stuff that we did that people would think would be like way out.
Most guys wouldn't do stuff and that's the thing. We
But that's what I'm saying. So it's just it's different levels in life. Everybody's not going to achieve that. I definitely understand that.
Right.
So that even makes it even more of a question mark on why you would try to ban somebody based on exactly what you just said. Everybody ain't even going to be able to achieve that level or get close to it. It's only maybe 10% of people who in America that can even do that as guys.
Yeah, that ghost banning and shadow banning on Facebook, man, and all other platforms, man. That's the unintelligent artificial intelligence right there, man. The ghost banning, you know what I'm saying, is when they prevent people who you associate with on these platforms from seeing what you post. But then shadow banning, or should I say that's shadow banning, but ghost banning is where you be posting stuff, and that's where all people be hitting you up like, damn, where you be posting stuff and wondering why nobody's responding or anything or nothing like that. And that's because, and I know y'all all seen it with Facebook, and this is basically the unintelligent artificial intelligence learning us, man. Learning how we interact with each other and learning learning what's offensive by what we find offensive based off of our interaction with each other through this. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to the censorship, man, like I said, the worst type of censorship is self-censorship, and all this stuff with the freedom of speech is tied in. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the internet, you know what I mean? It's something that you gotta think it can't really be fully monitored, not by humans anyway, and everything can't be tracked and traced by humans. but it came by the unofficial artificial intelligence, though. And when we sit up on here and we feed into this different stuff, because you know a lot of these things, like say with the challenges, y'all know a lot of those challenges is created by the unintelligent artificial intelligence, right? I want y'all to understand that. My man Lance Parker said it's a crime to protest the fascist Israel state in this country. Yes, man. It definitely
Oh,
is, man.
oh,
That's another group. Listen here, y'all. It's so many little niche groups that you're just not allowed to say nothing about. And the
hey,
LGBTQ LMNOP barbecue committee is one of them. And these those who say they are Jews but are really the synagogue of Satan say the same thing. I don't remember if y'all remember a while back when I was telling y'all about the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, the IHRA, when I was telling y'all about I think it's a pre-recorded video I made. The IHRA, the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, right? And they're connected with B'nai B'rith and the ADA, or should I say the ADL? You know what I mean? And the IHRA came up with a new definition for what anti-Semitism is, and it's so broad and expansive that one of the things that was used as a definition for it, or one of the things that can be defined as anti-Semitism, is the very thing that Lance Parker just talked about, and that's being able to say anything about the state of Israel. And I want y'all to know it's two different Israels, man. You got the country of Israel, and you got the state of Israel. Two different things, right? And when it comes, and this is another group of people who you absolutely cannot talk about. But when you are armed with the knowledge, when you have done your due diligence, like I have, you have the testicular fortitude to speak and say what you know to be true. And I challenge anybody, right? I wish somebody would listen here over April Talk. We ain't scared of none of that. I dare anybody on the internet to try to call me an anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic, saying I'm anti-Semitic. I would destroy what you saying. I don't care nothing about the IHRA's definition of what anti-Semitic is, because it don't apply in any form. It's a misnomer in every single definition. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of such, we might as well go ahead and pull it up, right? What y'all know about the IHRA, the International Holocaust Remembrance Association? What y'all know about that?
I'm sure about that.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna find it here
Maybe
real
don't
quick,
fuck
man.
with Israel, man. They just had that COVID shit that just came out where they said they wasn't reporting the adverse reaction reports that they supposed to report to the CDC, and they said that Israel can they got one of the fastest militaries that'll put a plane up in the air in about 30 seconds, but they couldn't get the adverse reaction reports reported in their country for COVID.
We ain't worried about all that, man.
Nah, that's something else to think about too. But that ties into a lot of this shit and why they didn't release those adverse reaction reports. It goes into this censorship. They censor that for a reason. It's a huge reason why they didn't let Israel, of all countries, the first country that got fully vaccinated. They were the only country that got mostly everybody vaccinated, the highest percentage. And they didn't let that country report any adverse reaction. That goes into this, Verge. It ties very, very heavily. That's why I sent you that article, because it ties solely into this, because they control that whole shit off of censorship. They control the way they even let people here get that vaccination, which is cool. You do what you do.
I think I might do a show just breaking this whole weak ass ideology down. My fault. The International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. My bad, y'all. Right. This is their definition, right? And this is the definition that has been adopted, right, and accepted even by our very own U.S. government as the definition of what anti-Semitism is, right? Right. No, let me read it to y'all. Right? All of this is the definition of anti-Semitism, man. Right? The working definition of anti-Semitism. In the spirit of the Stockholm Declaration that states, with humanity still scarred by anti-Semitism and xenophobia, the international community shares a solemn responsibility to fight those evils. The Committee on Anti-Semitism and Holocaust Denial, called the IHRA plenary in Budapest 2015, to adopt the following working definition of anti-Semitism. On May 26, 2016, the plenary in Bucharest decided to adopt the following non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism. See, this is what I be talking about when I say double speak, y'all. All right. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed toward Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, toward Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. To guide IHRA in its work, the following examples may serve as illustrations. Manifestations might include the targeting of the state of Israel, conceived as a Jewish collectivity. However, criticism of Israel similar to that level against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism frequently charges Jews with conspiring to harm humanity and is often used to blame Jews for why things go wrong. It is expressed in speech, writing, visual forms, and action, and employs sinister stereotypes and negative character traits. Contemporary examples of anti-Semitism in public life, the media, schools, the workplace, and in the religious sphere could, taking into account the overall context, include but are not limited to: number one, calling for, aiding. Now, everything I'm about to say is what is considered to be anti-Semitism by this organization right here called the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. They are connected with B'nai B'rith and the Anti-Defamation League, right? Two very powerful organizations. You hear me? Calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. Making, this one right here is crazy. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as collective, right? Such as, especially not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions, right? Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. Denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, e.g. gas chambers, or intentionality of the genocide of the Jewish people at the hands of nationalist socialist Germany and the supporters and accomplices during World War II. Do y'all understand what y'all hearing right now? Accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. Denying the Jewish people the right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor, which it is. Applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation, which is true. Using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, e.g. claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel, to characterize Israel or Israelis. Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis, and holding Jews collectively responsible for actions of the state of Israel.
That's crazy.
That's a mouthful right there, right? Lucy, what's up, baby? Right?
That's
He said,
crazy.
so basically it's wrong to put up a mirror to a vampire. Basically, everything that I just read is true. Now let's get back to it real quick before we move on, man, right? Because this has to do with freedom of speech, y'all. Calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing of or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. Now, I agree with that. I could say that's anti-Semitic in the sense of what they're saying, but I'm about to just shut this whole thing down real quick. Listen to this one, y'all. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, which they do, economy, they do, government, they do, or societal institutions, they do. And see, this is what I'll be talking about when I say double think, y'all.
Making mendacious,
Mendacious. I
dehumanizing,
better look up what mendacious means, man.
demonizing, or stereotypical.
Mendacity is a real fancy word for lying, right? Basically, they say if you say something about the Jews, it ain't true. If they say it ain't true. So for me to sit up here and say, which is, I mean, provably true, the overwhelmingly mass majority of people who have control and influence and have the most money, wealth in the media industry is who? People who are of Jewish faith. I ain't gonna say Jewish descent because ain't no such thing as Jewish DNA, right? See, we got to have the fortitude, the testicular fortitude to say what it is, man. And I challenge anybody, man. You hear me? I wish you would. Now, when we call the anti-Semites, right? And we're going to break this damn thing down, right? He said, I went to the Holocaust Museum a few years ago. Shit was mad boring, but friends practically forced me to talk about that in D.C. Yeah, man. Now, we about to shut this down. So y'all can go look up this definition yourself. Go to the IHRA website. Just type in Google, type in the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, and it'll pop right up. You feel me? Now, we about to shut this thing down right here, this whole anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, right? We hear this word, we hear this term, and I wonder how many of y'all actually know what it is, right? So, in order for you to understand what anti-Semitism is, you have to know what the root word of the term is, which is what? What is the root word of the word anti-Semitism?
Nigga. How the fuck how the fuck everybody get to call us whatever the fuck they want? And everybody else got all these powers where you can't say shit about them. Like, this should be wild to me.
It's crazy. No, serious, this is a question I'm asking y'all. You too, L. What is the root word of the term anti-Semitism?
What, Semitic? Oh.
Semitic, yes.
Yeah,
Semitic.
that's what I was
Right.
saying.
So when y'all think about this, we absolutely must critically think. This is what I'll be telling y'all about process of elimination, critical thinking, deductive reasoning. You must practice these things, man, to get your thinking back so you can see through this bullshit. Anti-Semitism, Semitic. What does it mean to be Semitic? Right? Let's get to it. What does it mean to be Semitic? Who knows what Semitic is? Right? Semitic is defined as relating to or denoting a family of languages that include Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician, Akkadian, right? Other languages like Tamil, Sanskrit, These are Semitic languages, right? So when you hear the term Semitic, Semitic is not referring to a group of people. It's referring to groups of people who speak certain languages. It's a language groups, not specific people. There's no such thing as a Semitic DNA. Semitic is a wide range of languages spoken by groups of people in the Middle East and Northern Africa, right? So when we think about the term Semitic, what is the largest Semitic language speaking group? Who knows this? Because if we're going to talk about anti-Semitism in reference to so-called Jewish people, right? The people who speak Hebrew, every Hebrew is a Jew, not every Jew is a Hebrew, right? So we're talking about Jewish people, y'all, anti-Semitic. what language do they speak? Right? Now let's get to it. Right? You know what I'm saying? So this is simple stuff, the process of elimination. What is the largest Semitic speaking group? Right? Arabic is by far the most widely spoken of the Semitic languages, with around 300 million native speakers spread across the vast majority of North Africa and throughout the Arabian Peninsula, which is the Middle East. So if we're going to talk about anti-Semitism, we're going to talk about what is anti-Semitic, we have to be referring to the Arabic people. Oddly enough, what's been going on in the Middle East and Arabic countries for the past 30 years. See the mind fuckery there, y'all? What y'all know about pseudo Jews or pseudo Arabs, pseudo Muslims? All of these people, the House of Saud, right? They are pseudo Jews. They are Khazarians. They are those who claim to be the Jews, but are the synagogue of Satan, and they're pseudo Muslims because underneath they perping like they are the House of Saud, and they're Arabic and they follow Allah and Muslim and Islam, but really they are Khazarian demons masquerading as the House of Saud, and they're really Khazarians, right? So when we think about anti-Semitism has to refer to Arabic-speaking people, not Hebrew, which is one of the smallest Semitic language groups compared to Islam or compared to Arabic anyway. See, anti-Semitism isn't referring to a specific culture or people. It's a group of people that speak. It's referring to a language. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to y'all? So we got to crush this anti-Semitism thing, man. Because if we're going to talk about anti-Semitism as in relation to disrespect or discrimination towards Jewish people, they are a very small part of the language groups that are considered to be Semitic speaking language groups. When you think if we were going to say anti-Semitic, we will be referring to not, I mean, let's take a walk back now, right? Let's double it back real quick, right? Now, to be anti-Semitic would be anti against any of these language groups, right? Let's not make no mistake about that. But if Arabic is by far the overwhelmingly large mass majority of Semitic language groups is Arabic, 300 million plus people speak this language. Let's see which one Hebrew is, right?
Yeah, man, so it's crazy they don't get the same protections. Arab and Islamic people don't. They actually, Islamic really get harped on. It's crazy. You know, like I always tell y'all, follow the money. That's all you gotta do. Follow the money. It'll always take you where you want to go. We ain't gotta tell you about nothing that they mentioned in those comments earlier. If you follow the money and you see where it comes from and what the power lies, where it's at, you clearly can see everything they said and that, the influence on the media, government, money, all that. It goes back to that. And they will silence you. That's what these are wrote up for. It's anti-Semitic. It's wrote up so they could basically silence you if they need to.
So, ain't that crazy though? How the Arabic Islamic people don't get the same protection. So that lets you know that they don't give a damn about them. They just using them. You hear me? And this is all part of getting rid of the freedom of speech, because under the guise of anti-Semitism, how many of y'all knew this? Hopefully y'all learning something new now. How many of y'all know when we speaking about anti-Semitic, we can't really refer to Jewish people, right? Jewish people. We can't really refer to them, right? Because most of the people who we call Jewish or who we think are Jewish, right? They're not really the Jews. Huh? And the people who are masquerading as the Jews, right? They're really Khazarian demons. And I'll tell them to their face. You hear me? Because this is what it is. This is provable too, right? Now, when we ain't talking about the overwhelmingly majority of Jewish people, you know what I'm saying, in Israel, you know what I'm saying, who are peace-loving people, you know what I'm saying, to give the shirt off their back. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the fake Jews, man. The people who run the state of Israel, right? On behalf of people like the Rothschilds, who are themselves fake Jews. You hear me? I'll tell you one guy who isn't a fake Jew, though. George Soros. See, he perked and acted like he was Christian and sold his fellow Jewish brethren out in Hungary back in the day. And that's how he got rich to this day. You hear me? So, man, when it comes to the freedom of speech, y'all, we have to have the courage to say what it is. This stuff is provable. We have factual evidence, historical evidence to back up what it is we are saying. So to sit up here and kowtow, bow down, acquiesce, comply with this mindfuckery can be compared to cowardice, being soft, being a punk. And I, for one, refuse to walk on eggshells. You hear me? At all. Let's watch this video.
It's definitely not happening.
Now this video right here is a video of when this video right here is a video of when they was basically just showing how the feds just basically set Trump up, man. You hear me? I think this is a video you sent me, El.
Oh yeah.
They basically set Trump up, man. I mean, those who got eyes to see already knew what it was. What my man Uncle Diggity say. So as we enter into the Enlightenment, they want to put down, talk about us laws and about U.S. laws in place. I believe they will shut all comms down to stifle the message once it gets going. But hey, man, listen, you know, all they gotta do is push a button, Uncle Diggity. They can shut this whole internet down, man. So, but they're not going to do that. Why? Because it wouldn't be strategic right now. It wouldn't be very beneficial right now. It's not part of the agenda right now. They need the internet. They need us to be synced and linked to the smart grid. Y'all don't know that the internet is about to go holographic. It's about to go fully digital. It's about to become immersive. The metaverse is here and it's on the way. Y'all can believe that. Let's watch this video. Listen to this video.
Yielding. We heard from the other side, when a judge says there's probable cause here and issues a warrant, you know that it's there. Well, I've been a judge, I've been a chief justice, and I know that's not the case. That's why we have appellate courts, and that's also particularly true when it comes to the persecution of candidate Donald Trump and President Donald Trump. We went for years before we found out the true basis of the 6 warrants based on garbage, lies. There was no probable cause there. And we found out we had FBI agents lying, even though one's been found not guilty. The jury said, well, they didn't, since everybody lies.
Did y'all hear that, man? Did y'all hear what that man just said?
They told him since everybody lies, they're going to let them off because they're the FBI.
Well, my man Uncle Diggity said if we turn up on them, that might be the abort mission for them. The last thing they want is the real work from us. Like how far they're going to prevent being clowned. Yeah, man. But you know what I'm saying? They prepare for all of this stuff, y'all, man. I don't make no mistake, man. I'm not sitting up here because ain't no cowardice in me whatsoever. But what I'm going to tell y'all, we is up against something that we ain't even got no clue what really they got in store for us, for real, y'all. You hear me? The good thing that we do got is numbers. You hear me? But our numbers are so decimated with the numbers we got because the great majority of our numbers are programmed. Programmed robots beyond repair. Let's go.
That shouldn't be a crime. Well, that's here in D.C., and that's a Democrat. A Republican, of course, would be convicted of that. But that's why our job is so important, because judges are not perfect. And let me just read you, after the deputy director of the FBI that all of a sudden my Democrat fans are such huge fans of. Oh, and by the way, this information about the FBI hiring of Putin lackey Danchenko, that didn't come out in the Mueller report. So they either hid it or were incompetent in finding it. It didn't come out in the IG investigation. So he was either incompetent or just actually hid it. And it takes a special counsel 2 years after President Trump's out of office to finally reveal what happened 6 years ago in the Department of Justice dishonesty. And so let me just read from this letter.
Did y'all hear that, man?
That's crazy.
6 years. All that stuff they was saying about Trump, they had all y'all thinking Trump did this, Trump did that. Right now, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. Trump ain't no angel. You hear me? And you know, another topic for another day. I ain't gonna get into it with Trump, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get into it with Trump. But Trump was the greatest president in U.S. history. I will say that. He's the greatest president in U.S. history. I'll say it. I'm gonna come up for it too. Donald Trump was the greatest president in U.S. history. Y'all have no idea the things that Trump was actually doing. But I got my reserved thoughts about Trump, and we'll talk about that some other time. But Trump definitely was doing some things behind the scenes that a lot of y'all don't even know about. You hear me? That's why he was so hated. That's why that's why they broke the law. They circumvented the law to get him up through. You hear me? You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of y'all don't even realize what Trump was doing. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this situation right here, they had y'all believing all that stuff. They had y'all believing all that stuff they was telling y'all about Trump. They had y'all believing that shit, man. And it all came out to be totally unequivocally untrue, as this guy's telling us right now. Let's go.
Letter dated September 11th, after the deputy director said, oh, no, there were no violations of security that compromised security. Says, by issuing an absolute denial of your misconduct, talking in the letters to Deputy Director Paul Abadi, you also implicitly claim that the two individuals who reported the misconduct made false statements. That assertion is false. Thinking back, you are certainly aware that many of your subordinates saw you wearing the phone in the skiff. Now your subordinates are coming forward and their reports are far more damning to you and Mr. Ray. You, Mr. Ray, and the employees on the 7th floor violated national security because you were all too lazy to secure your devices. You failed to set the example, and now you've become the example of what's wrong with the FBI. I was talking to an FBI, actually multiple FBI agents, but a former FBI agent said, you remember back in the 80s and 90s, if we needed somebody to report, we had an indictment, we would call their lawyer and say, you need to report at 9 or 10 or 1. Tomorrow we have an indictment, and they would show up to jail because they knew if they didn't, they'd come pick them up at home. What that's turned into now is it's actually the tactics the Gestapo used. Middle of the night, wee hours of the morning, you bust in, you drag them out of bed, and you don't let them even put.
Hold up, did you hear? Hold up.
What happens to the FBI? You drag them out in front of CNN or some other liberal media that you leaked the information illegally to before you did the search.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Damn, right? Yeah. This is the results of the Patriot Act.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now we're about to start seeing HR 1955, the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorist Prevention Act protocols being rolled out.
Hey, you remember that Dave Chappelle skit where he was reversed with the white man and the black man and how they raid the house when you were, normally like you a black dude, how they just kick in your doors and all that shit, and the white dude they hit you up like, hey, we gonna turn yourself in.
Sure.
And he just told you that's how that shit really goes. That's normally how it goes when you got guys of this kind of magnitude. But, and also, conveniently, all the news cameras just happen to be at his house at 2, 3, whenever the raid hit. Because they hit Donald Trump like he was a nigga in the streets. That was crazy.
I feel the same way, Scully. Or Skelly.
Yeah.
Exact same way. Yeah. Yep. One of my people's moms, man, feds run up in her mom crib looking for her brother, man. Her mom looked off some shots, man. Popped one of them, a couple of them agents, man. It was right here in Columbus, Ohio, man. Y'all can look that up on the internet, man.
Yeah, man.
Feds try to come up in the crib unannounced, man. She let them have it. And Cole got off on it.
I ain't playing that shit. Because I don't even know who kicked it. For one, I don't live in no neighborhood where nobody should be kicking no door in.
Right.
So if my shit getting kicked in, I feel that same way. Like I'm not asking questions like, who is it?
Yeah, no questions.
Fuck that.
So listen, y'all, man, the freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying, is being attacked by all forms of censorship. All right. And not only that, our masculinity, right, is also because one thing I can say about Andrew Tate is that he definitely exuded extreme masculinity. I got to say that, and that's one of the things I respected about him. You know what I'm saying? That clearly was his pops was clearly a man of respect and raised his sons right. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, you know what I mean? In my eyes, anyway. And that's something that's in the crosshairs. Look how many from many aspects they are attacking our masculinity to the point where they trying to turn our masculinity into fake femininity. When we speak out against anything, they're attacking it, saying we're toxic and saying all this crazy stuff. And we just being the men we're supposed to be, bringing order, bringing structure, bringing discipline. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to do. But in this society is coming in, clearly, as y'all can see, they don't want any of that. They want the order, structure, and discipline that they want to provide for us, which is the smart grid, the metaverse. You hear me? Human brain computer interfacing. You know what I'm talking about? This is the discipline they want for us, man. They want us to be hooked to the metaverse. A fake mixed augmented virtual reality where we can digitally immersively interact with each other, much like how we do now in social engineering, but like I said, fully immersive, so we actually can interact with each other. Like, in a perfect depiction of this, like I tell you all the time, is the movie Ready Player One. That's where they want to take it to. That's exactly what all of this stuff is about. All this LGBTQ, LMNOP, barbecue committee agenda, all this stuff with the whole breaking up the psyche, man, with the anti-Semitism and all of that. Got you thinking that anti-Semitism means hatred or discrimination towards Jewish people, when Jewish people ain't even the largest group of Semitic-speaking language group. Matter of fact, Semitic ain't specific to one group of people or even one race of people or even one specific DNA.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get how they got to just claim that themselves. That's wild.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like everybody go through that. So it should be like that across. If you feel that way about your people, it should feel that way across the board. Like, if you say that you don't want to be exclusive, then you can't have people excluded out. That's actually the opposite. That's like an oxymoron. Like, that's my thing. Like, you can't say that you want to not be excluded from everybody, but then you want to have your own separate rules just for your people. Like, that don't make sense. You know, if you want it one way, where everybody's on the same shit and you want it to be level, or however you want to portray it to be, then it should be that way for everybody. You shouldn't have a separate set of rules just for your people. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of what you're trying to accomplish. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, break it down to the easiest way we can. Like, I just want somebody to make it make sense to me, because if you telling me that everybody should be included, but then you have your own rules just for your set of people, that's exclusion to me. So I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying, though, L. That's the whole thing. What I'm saying, that's the mind fuckery right there. That's the double think right there. They sit here, you know, but it's absolutely not like that in our society. Clearly, look how many hoes. It's not like that. That's not how our reality is. That's double think right there. That's mind fuck right there. See, telling people that, spreading this ideology, like what my man El just said. But when we look in our actual reality, our observable reality, it's nothing like what he just said. It's actually the complete opposite. All right. That's why I say, man, we gotta pay attention to this stuff, man. This is high mind fuckery going on, man. You hear me? This is high manipulation, right? High manipulation going on right now, man. I'm telling y'all, man. With all of this stuff, especially with this freedom of speech stuff and this attack on our masculinity, man, and this censorship. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're trying to turn on little boys into girls and pushing this agendas. You know what I'm saying? They getting power and backs, and even having political influence, corporate influence. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
It's a aspect of having power in general. And Jewish people, it's not like you said. If you go to most corporations, it's going to be a Jewish name attached to it. The big money part.
Yeah, but it's the reason for that, though. And we can break that down, and we can expose that and break it down to the last compound. Why that is.
What's crazy is it's not even anything to be exposed, because it's already known. Like, that's why I don't get like some of the stuff.
That's the thing. It's not known though, because a lot of people don't know this stuff. They just don't know.
I thought that some of that stuff was like general knowledge. Like, but you know what? I went to Bexley. For a total of 1 year. I went there half my 8th grade year, half my freshman year. And Bexley, if y'all don't know, it's a small little suburb right in the middle of the city. It's heavily influenced by the Jewish culture. Your Schottensteins, your Glimpshires, your Wexners, all that. That's kind of where they all emerged from. That's where the families came, and they basically own the real estate in the city. All the big stuff in the city, that's them. And yeah, so they even own, Lex Wexner owns New Albany and Glimpshire. They own all this stuff pretty much in Bexley, and they're all cousins, basically. All of them are connected. They're cousins. I went to school with some of them. So yeah, it's like it's undeniable. Like, I know Columbus for a fact. Like I said, me going to Bexley and going to school with Glimpshires and Schottensteins, I actually know people that have their names all across the city. Like, you'll roll down the street and see Glimpshire Realty, and you know, they handle the realty under the Glimpshire name, and Schottenstein owns, it's the basketball center for Ohio State. And Lex Wexner, y'all know him. I mean, he's the man, like, in the city. He's the number one guy. He basically owns the city in Columbus, if you want to be real. But you know, it's those guys. I know those three families basically own Columbus, and that's Jewish. I don't know about y'all cities, but I know Columbus definitely is ran by the Jewish population, for sure. There's no question.
Yo, Lex got stuff on lock out here in our city, man.
And other places.
Yeah, he definitely do. You know what I'm saying?
Anytime y'all women go buy Victoria's Secret, holler at Lex. You know what I mean? Y'all men go to Express, holler at Lex. You know what I mean? He on all that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
But those are the same guys that'll get you censored though. Like they said, they make it to a point where it's almost like you breaking the law if you say anything bad about them. And that to tie it into what we're talking about tonight is basically a form of censorship because even if they don't legally hit you, that anti-Semitism like that gets people canceled everywhere. Like it fucks with your money, you'll lose endorsement deals, all that. Like
Right.
it's just something that's known. Like we just like Scott said, people might not know. Like and me, I'm not even really deep into a lot of that, but I just could hear and I've seen and I've rewatch it. When people say certain stuff, like we see cats that say the word nappy headed hoes or niggas, and they'll get upped in their level of stardom or whatever it may be. They'll triple their salary. But let you say something about the LGBTQ community or Jewish people, and you are getting canceled, and you might get banned, and you might not ever work again in the entertainment industry. And these are facts. These are things that happens. Look at what happened to Kevin Hart, one of the biggest stars. They wanted him to basically bow down and kiss their feet for the Grammys to open up for the Grammys. That was a form of censorship. And it was for something that he did before he even became famous. They didn't want him to apologize for something that he said currently, even within the last 10 years. They wanted him to apologize for something they dug up on Twitter from 15, 20 years ago, where he said he didn't want his son to be gay or something. That's the type of control that we talk about censorship and the way that they can teeter that shit to make you, it's like a carrot that they hang to you and when you get to that certain point of success where they just want you to just bow down in certain ways. Like we heard about that Hollywood, the way that they make you maybe put on a dress before you can become super famous as a black.
Right.
Kind of stuff that they might make you do. This is forms of censorship because if you turn it down,
Definitely do, Uncle Diggity.
what may happen, like Dave Chappelle told you, they tried to censor him, and then when they basically told everybody, oh, Dave Chappelle went off to Africa and he's off crack. Remember they told people that?
Yeah, that shit was crazy as smoke shit.
People ran with it. And now, you know what I mean? Now we see he came back and he talks about it. You go back, Dave Chappelle is a perfect person to tell you, and he broke it down for you. And Dave Chappelle is somebody that's fighting against the monster because a lot of his shit that he says is basically pushing back towards all that. They're not listening to him. Like, you know, I know some people don't like Dave Chappelle, but his comedy as of the late 5-6 years since he came back into it is very thought provoking. Some of it's not even damn near comedy, it's more of a conversation. And it talks a lot about censorship, what they try to do to him to censor him. So, you know, you really gotta think when they start to get to that power where they can just start taking away people. We talking about, yeah, we put Andrew Tate as like the headline because the original video, like I said, that sparked this was the Candace Owens because she just recently spoke on it and it just made me think about like, damn, you know what I mean? If they could basically take this man off that doesn't have any form of hate, and we got all this hate speech that I've seen on the internet on any side. We've talked about so much shit, disrespectful things, and all of this that can be put out there. And then the way that they twist and make these laws or, you know what I mean, these terms to try to basically exclude a certain type of conversation or opinion or whatever that a lot of it's factual and can be traced, you know, but allegedly, and at the end of the day, it's fucked up because we never got that. You know what I mean? And I don't claim one. I'm not even really big into the race and all of that, but it just really amazes me how people don't see it right in clear plain sight that it's people that control a lot of what we do, say, and how you get to certain points of your life. And when you are in the LGBTQ community or you're in the Jewish community, it's just factual. Like, you normally have more plugs if you leverage yourself the right way to get to where you need to get to. And they control a lot of everything that we see and do. And unfortunately, people that do speak out get banned quicker. And these are just factual things. You know, it's fucked up.
Uncle Diggity said we got more power than we give ourselves credit for. Facts. We got to challenge the game, though. Facts.
We control
They
the
are
culture.
afraid of challenges. That's why they operate how exactly.
We
Exactly.
control the culture.
And listen, we don't and this we they don't we don't need it ain't gonna take this is why I say shout out to Dane Calloway with that 13%. It ain't gonna take a lot of us. You hear me? It ain't gonna take a whole bunch of us. Yes, we warriors by nature, man. Can't handle us for real. We get on one accord. You know what I'm saying? My man Lance Parker, man, funny as hell. He said being a combo fun boy and a small little Jewish dude in a demonetized system. He said that's like Goku and Vegeta fusion with Master Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego God Key.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Super Saiyan 53.
A holy grail right there, man. You a good money. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's wild, bro. But I don't understand why they want to try to put, like, to me, even putting that on there is basically you saying that you have this power. Like, anytime you want to try to denounce some shit, normally it's like, hey, like, calm down, bro. Like, yeah. Like when somebody be like, oh, you got it, bro, you got it. And you might got it, but you like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of, you know what I mean? Get away from me, bro. Like, on some kind of shit like that. Like, and I get it. They don't want that to be their main, like, forefront, you know, the movement or organization, which you want it to be looked at. But unfortunately, like, not even unfortunately, because for them, that's very fortunate that they are.
We about to check out this video, man, because I've been looking. This is what video that you sent me, L, man, right? And I
Yeah,
think it's interesting, man.
a lot of people wish they was in their position. I don't know why they don't want that position
What position you talking about?
of the Jews.
Yeah, I mean, we could have our own position though, man. But you gotta understand who these people are. Y'all gotta understand who these people who call themselves Jews and claim to be Jews, man. They ain't the real Jews, man. You hear me? And we tell them to their face. We can prove it. They even amongst people, the Jewish some people from Israel. Y'all know who Shlomo Shand is? Huh? Go read Shlomo Sand's book, man. The Invention of the Jewish People. Go read Shlomo Sand's book, man. He's a Jewish guy. He used to be a teacher at Tel Aviv University. Got fired for writing this book and some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? We ain't stupid. We see that's the thing that's why they're in the process of trying to erase history, y'all. That's why they're trying to erase history right now. Pay attention to what's going on. They're trying to erase history. So if they be successful with their agendas, right? A couple generations from now, man, you know, we're gonna be all hooked to the metaverse, and you know, this stuff is gonna be in the memory hole. What's with this article, man? It's should social media be censored?
There's been much debate this past year about freedom of speech and social media.
We should err on the side of greater expression.
They are literally spreading lies and misinformation, propaganda.
Companies that engage in censoring or any political conduct will not be able to keep their liability shield.
The dilemma: should social media companies censor speech that they deem to be hateful or violent or false?
No.
Or should they keep it up in the spirit of freedom of speech?
Yes.
And what happens when the speaker is an elected official?
I believe that we have two responsibilities. to remove content when it can cause real danger as effectively as we can, and to fight to uphold as wide of a definition of freedom of expression as possible.
Of course, the First
No,
Amendment doesn't
absolutely
only
not.
apply to Facebook.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what Fuckerberg just said, man? Exactly, Skelly, man. Right? Right? Did y'all hear what Fuckerberg just said? He said we should broaden. We should make the definition as wide as possible, man. And that's dangerous. Right? That's very, very dangerous. And I like to think that we in here are critical thinking capacity that's where I don't have to explain why that's dangerous. Y'all don't know, you know how YouTube be doing, man, Mr. Ogo. The best thing for y'all to do is if y'all see that YouTube is on their stuff and you don't get the normal notification like how you normally do, just unsubscribe and subscribe back real quick. You feel me? That seems to put you back in the algorithm. The unintelligent artificial intelligence isn't that intelligent. All right. Let's go back to the goddamn video, man.
Facebook or to Twitter or to Instagram or YouTube. It was written solely to stop the government, not private companies, from censoring speech. The debate has intensified due to one particular post.
So let me stop you right there. All right. Now, y'all got to understand what was going on with that Constitution, man. Right? And what the Constitution absolutely established. Right? And you got to think the original Constitution only lasted for a few years before 17, or should I say before 1871, right? You know what I mean?
65.
You gotta think about that, man. Right. That's another topic for another day too. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the freedom of speech, man, the freedom of speech means the freedom of speech. That means the freedom to say whatever the hell you want. And then we'll determine if it's offensive after it's delivered. Never before. Right? And let's go back to this video real quick.
Post from President Donald Trump. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Twitter placed a warning label on the tweet saying it glorified violence. Facebook did nothing.
You could say that you're all for free speech, but you also need to protect society, especially when you're in the position Facebook is in.
Mark Zuckerberg would say that he is standing for a democratic principle, which is freedom of expression. And he says that, you know, a private company like his, who is he, a billionaire, to be able to, you know, in some way restrict the speech of the President of the United States. Do you buy that argument?
I do not. I think that argument is entirely in Mark Zuckerberg's profit interest. I think what we're seeing is Mark Zuckerberg is saying, you know, I don't want to rile up the president. I don't want to invite regulatory action. I don't want to tick off the president's following, which also uses Facebook, and you know, I don't want to alienate them from my own platform because that will detract from my own revenue and engagement on my own platform.
But those who argue Facebook should operate in the spirit of free speech say it's a slippery slope to remove or even to fact-check political speech.
Where would you draw a line if you were Facebook when it comes to a Trump post?
So I think that Facebook cordons off a couple of very narrow areas which are wise to shut down. And that is things like misleading speech about elections themselves. If Trump posted, hey, everyone, go vote on election day on this date, and it was the wrong date, I think that's reasonable to take down because it is timely and also obviously misleading. For things like hate speech, I think that people should know if the president is using hate speech.
You don't think that Facebook should be fact-checking political ads.
I don't trust Facebook to do a good job fact-checking political ads. A lot of political claims are tricky, are difficult to fact check.
Silly as hell,
a lot
too.
of them are.
Yeah, that's enough of that video, man. But you know, what y'all think, man? Y'all think the internet should be censored?
What's the point of the internet if it's censored?
Y'all think social media should be censored, or should we just have free reign to say and post and do what we want? You know what I'm saying? And then you know,
I feel like what you could do is like, I like what Twitter do. Like sometimes they have a video or a comment and it say like it's hidden, but you could click on it.
We got Mr. O in the building, man. My Joe from
Mr.
Chicago.
O with the info. What up? What up?
What it do, man?
But yeah, I feel like, you know, they could do something like that if they feel like it's sensitive. Like it'll say something like this content may be sensitive, but you can click on it.
Right.
You know, give people, but you still gotta give people that option. Like I feel like when you start stripping away people's options to view content that maybe, you know, truthful to them or beneficial to them or fits their opinion, especially when you start to ban opinions.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because an opinion is not factual nor not factual. You know what I mean? So it is, like I said, it's a slippery slope because then it comes to, well, you could say this. Now, what if somebody is saying something on the reverse side of that? Are we going to ban them too? Or are we going to let that rock because it fits your agenda?
Right.
You know, because if somebody comes out and be like, yes, be gay, raise your kids to be gay. You know, yes, do this, do that. Which there are videos that are suggesting that and says that. Do we start to ban those people too? There's nobody with a big platform that's able to do that. Like him. You know, that was their way of kind of sending to me shockwaves that, hey, we could silence you on these platforms if we really want to, no matter what you're talking about. You know, so I think he was just a person that they took out just for the sake of everything. But you know what? It's crazy that like people who like tend to speak truth that's like really, really rooted in the truth were the ones that was always like crucified in some type of way. And we've always had this kind of mass society type cancellations, like ever going all the way back to like when they used to like burn witches at the stakes. Like if it was a certain thing about a woman, they just burn her. Or yeah, I mean, even with Jesus, like they was even willing to let a killer go in the Bible. You know, I'm not saying if it's true or not with the story, but as it was wrote, the people were so tied up that they didn't want to hear what he spoke of, that they was willing to let a known killer in the streets go over a man just off of what he said. And this is, you know what I mean? So we just gotta look. I mean, if anything, the Bible wrote and told you how shit is out here. The Bible was telling you this shit. Like they did this to Jesus, what makes you think they won't do that to you?
And they are doing it to us.
Yeah, to where they literally willing to let a killer go. Like, you know what I mean? Punches Pie, he basically said, hey, look, I'm gonna even give y'all one more chance because he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to kill Jesus, but the people was so on it. Like, they like, we're gonna strip you out of your shit.
Condemn him.
Yeah, man. We just gotta be
Crucify
real.
him.
This is what it's about, man. Y'all gotta understand. They was talking about censorship from the Bible wrote about censorship. That's what it was all about. Like, but y'all ain't even get that back then. The Bible was telling you that this is what life is gonna be like. You're gonna be censored forever. And if you got a voice that's powerful enough to get people to follow you, to me, that was like one of the main things I took from the Bible. Is when you get super powerful and your words, no matter how true they ring, and the more powerful you get, like if you rock the wrong base of people, you're gonna be hated, and people will kill you off, and will let people that's way worse than you live great. And that's the way it is. That's society as a whole. The
That's
Bible,
just the way it is.
yeah, the Bible told y'all that. The Bible was telling y'all that. The greatest story ever wrote was telling y'all exactly what we're talking about. They was trying to censor Jesus to the point they was gonna kill him for just talking what he wanted to talk about over somebody that they know was out here murdering people.
Well, I'm about to read my man Lance Parker's statement. They want to censor the internet, yet the porn industry single-handedly grew the internet. But let's see if that is censored. Porn was permitted in 1984. It definitely was. Porn was definitely admitted, and and it's crazy because in 1984's dystopian society, porn was definitely legal, right? But you know what I'm saying? Sex other than procreation or other than with the person who you was assigned with or to was something that was kind of frowned upon. So you got to think what type of society this was to be able to consume massive amounts of porn legally, but to actually interact with somebody physically outside of basically a state sanctioned marriage, right? That would be considered to be a crime think, right? You feel me? And that's why I keep telling y'all to read 1984, man. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is like, Lance Parker brought up the porn industry. What about the porn industry as far as all of this stuff with the censorship and everything else? The porn industry, you see how everybody's being sexualized, to the point to where we being over. What's the two questions, y'all? Why and cui bono? Why and who benefits? The why. Why are we being overly sexualized, especially our children, the youth? Why are we being overly sexualized? And two, who benefits from the over sexualization of the children, especially that? Who benefits from that? Right?
Those guys in power.
How do the children benefit, if at all? How do they benefit from being sexualized? I dare say even overly sexualized. And it's all being done to get them used to coming up in the society, right? Being confused about their gender, not expressing who they are, but being confused about who they are, right? So they grow up in a society where there is no gender. And when a society has gotten to a point where there is no gender, what does that say about how humans are now reproducing?
Oh, bro, you should pay that Candace Owens video, bro, because she really was breaking that down. Because they are going to the point where now, I'm trying to tell you, bro, like she really hit the nail on the head. Like,
you good, Uncle Diggity, man? Roll up.
Right up. So they're giving kids now these medicines that's stopping their puberty.
Yeah.
Giving
hormone blockers
effects on their body, irreversible effects on their body. So even if later down life they found out, like, oh, you know what, I'm tripping. You know, I am who I am and who I was born to be and how God made me. And now I want to be that way, but I can't because I already did what I did as a youth. And it's irreversible. Hey, man, it's deep out here. Like I said, that Candace Owens, you know what I mean, whether you like her or not. Like, I will say the video that she made about that, like the way she broke it down, like, it's pinpoint accuracy. And because it's going on right in front of our eyes, we're watching it happen unfold. And people just kind of like, because a person may not like what that person says, they might roll along with it, salute it. Same thing with the Trump and all that. Like, I don't care how I feel personally about a person. I don't feel like nobody should be censored unless it's something that's like child pornography or something.
Yeah.
Easy, you know what I mean?
Actually, that's the thing. We got laws in place for when people abuse their freedom of speech. So what's the point of making up new laws or telling people what they can or can't say?
Yeah, that's wild to me. Because where does it stop? That's the question that I always pose from that. Where does it stop?
Freedom of speech is under attack, y'all. I've been telling y'all about this, man. All right. And like I say, when we think about our freedom of speech, it's directly connected to our freedom to think, our masculinity, Brethren, our masculinity is under attack. They don't want men out here free thinking, masculine men who have order, structure, discipline, right? They don't want us, man. We the type of, we build societies. We put up we non-acquiesce. We don't comply. You hear me? And when we get on one accord, we build societies. We build Black Wall Streets and Mount Vernon Avenues in my city, Columbus, Ohio. You hear me? Cities like Chicago, you know what I'm talking about? And everywhere else where Black folks been at in this goddamn country, man. You hear me? Making shit happen. No reparations. Made it happen. You hear me?
I'll get to it. But you know what? At the end of the day, we just gotta come more together too. But honestly, you just gotta do it yourself, man, because ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Unfortunately, we live amongst a very heavily propaganda community that follows the propaganda and loves to be more divided than together. So it's kind of fucked up. We see it happening, and we came up on this because it's something that really affects our community and something that I don't think a lot of our youth really understands is how they propaganda us to be in certain type positions or think a certain kind of way.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, it's all about censorship. So they censoring you to certain information or a certain type of lifestyle that you can have. And that's what this is all about, censorship. You know, they might not let certain people from certain areas get into certain schools. It's certain rules that you can't, that somebody else can do or break that maybe you can't. So you censor in that type of realm. It's all type of censorships that we deal with, especially in our community with our cultures. You know, so the thing is, we just really got to understand. You know, I seen somebody talk about it earlier, and Stacks even spoke on it about the rebel against the society or however it may be. It's going to be tough unless people are really organized and willing to really come together. And I don't think that that's something that people are ready to discuss and or really get to. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, as Skelly said, free speech is very expensive. It very well is. And that's something that, like I was saying, like on A Real Talk Media, we're not worried about that because we ain't really bubbling off of no sponsorships that can get taken away. So we can say what we want. But at the end of the day, we're fighting this big battle called truth versus facts. Or, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, y'all don't want to hear the truth and y'all don't want to hear the facts. And y'all rather spread lies and inconsistent shit and let that rock over somebody who was just speaking their truth. Like, that was it. And if anything, you could write it off as an opinion or his lifestyle. Like Bro said earlier in the show, he's in a top 10% of men that could live that lifestyle. Not everybody making millions to where they could live that life. So how are you going to censor somebody from talking about their life that they live, how they live, and where does it stop at? Because now what can't we talk about? Now that's the question that we're gonna have to ask. You know what I mean? What can't we talk about? If you're gonna say you cancel him for supposed misogyny and speaking ill will towards the LGBTQ community because he said that he didn't want his biological son that he had in his household, which in the old school era is something that's very popular, like certain households didn't want their sons to be gay. I worked with a guy who was a white guy who came up in a Mormon household, and he basically got shunned from his family because he was gay. You know what I mean? And it happens. Like some families are just like that. And that was a white guy at work. And that's how some people are. Some dads have them values that was instilled from generations. And this is how a man is supposed to be. This is how a man is. And here we had a man with a huge platform that was speaking to that masculinity, as we talking about.
Right.
And that's all his platform really was about. Him being masculine or living his lifestyle, talking about what he did, and telling people like, "Hey, if you want to live like this or do what I'm doing, this is the best way to do it. Like, do it this way. This is what I do." And then saying how he wants to raise his household to be a certain way. Next thing you know, he's banned. So it's just wild. You know what I mean? Like I said, where does it stop? You got to ask these questions, and what can we talk about? Those are two huge questions that I would like to have answered by these social platforms and banned. You know what I mean? Like, what can we or can we not talk about now? And are y'all going to do the same thing to the people that's doing the opposite, on the opposite end of the spectrum? Because where's the medium? So it's a slippery slope, man. I keep saying that because it is.
It is a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope, man. So slippery that we have to defend it. We have to defend the freedom of speech. Listen, we have to defend the freedom of speech of those with whom we vehemently disagree with, more so than that of those who we agree with the most. We have to be willing to defend the freedom of speech with those who I'm talking about, would never ever agree with on any platform or any situation or topic or a lot of topics.
I told y'all, go create your burner accounts, and we can have.
We don't need to see. That's the thing. We got to get rid of that stuff. Operating in secrecy and shit.
But some people don't want to say their true thoughts.
And that's what I'm saying. You gotta start saying your true thoughts. So you gotta fuck all that punk ass stuff, y'all. We don't have time to bleed.
But Stacks,
ain't no buts. No buts. We don't have time to bleed. We can't have no sucker, soft motherfucker scared to lose his job when this shit about to get serious, because that shit ain't about to matter. Pretty soon they about to start assigning you niggas jobs. You ain't gonna have no choice where you work at. What y'all know about that? Huh?
It's fucked up to say, but everybody ain't in a position where they can live in their full truth yet. And that's just the way society has made it. You know?
I'm gonna suggest that you live in your full truth before it be made for you.
I suggest it too, but unfortunately everybody feel like they can't. And that's why you have the society that we have.
And that's just like what my man said. Who said that earlier? I think Uncle Diggity said it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Uncle Diggity said it. My man Uncle Diggity. I came right to it too, Uncle Diggity. We got more power than we give ourselves credit for. We got to challenge the game, though. They are afraid of challenge. That's why they operate the way they do. Yes. Mm-hmm. Cannot be afraid to challenge.
You know, when you go against that group think mentality, that's I ain't gonna say I hate.
Yeah, whoever controls it, my man Skelly
strongly dislike the group think.
My man Skelly said, "Whoever controls the internet controls the narrative."
All about propaganda,
right? Uncle Diggity say, "Black speech is the only speech they want censored because we hold the key to pulling the veil off the whole thing." You know what I'm talking about? They don't want to hear us talking, man. We break this shit down, man. You hear me? To the last compound, we connecting dots, exposing y'all motherfuckers, man.
Let's not even limit it to black speech. Any speech that pulls the veils off, they want to censor it because they censor these white dudes too.
Yes, they will. They saying something crazy.
They're gonna shadow ban anybody that's giving up too much game for free.
That's a fact. And that's another thing I want us to start getting into too, y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know in this reality, man, we've been programmed to identify with our skin and our skin color and these cultures and these histories and stuff, man. But you know what I'm saying? This stuff that's going on, y'all, this stuff that we see unfolding, this stuff ain't just planned for black people, man. And I think that's something, I think I'm gonna do a show on that. I think that's something we need to discuss too, because what I get from the collective of black people, whatever, black, African American, we want to call it, right? I get the feeling that it's like a collective, like personal victimhood addiction when it comes to this whole I'm black and we're from Africa. Blah, 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 blah. Matter of fact, I know what it is, right? And what I'm saying is, I encourage people to not identify with that for lots of reasons. One major reason being, this is just not true. That's not what it is. It ain't from Africa. All right. That's a whole nother topic for another day. You know what I mean? Two, beyond that, we all human. And what's going on? What we see unfolding on a global basis, y'all, is designed for all of us, the majority of us. Even y'all out there who think y'all wealthy and living a good, decent life, which some of y'all are. Some of y'all living real good. But I'm here to tell you, man, that this stuff that's coming in, man, is coming for you too, especially coming for you. Right?
Yeah, put Lance's.
That's true. That's true. Lance Parker. That's the fact that, hey, listen, Lance Parker. I've been saying this right here since I have been home. You hear me?
That's it.
And it's the task. People say the task is only as difficult as we make it out to be. Right? Think about it, y'all. Think about it, man. What you say?
It's very difficult.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. The people who run this planet, y'all. The number of this population is so infinitesimal as in comparison to the overwhelmingly mass majority of the rest of the human population. It's laughable. It's really laughable. And I'm not saying for nobody or to mobilize and get violent or none of that stuff, because none of that stuff is needed. Right? In comparison to the 8+ damn near billion people it is on Earth right now, roughly 1% of it, and I would doubt if it's an entire 1% of it, is ran by these entities, we'll call them. Right? You hear me? And, that's just not a lot, man. You hear me? Y'all ever seen the movie Ant, what's it called? I think it's called A Bug's Life, with the ants and stuff. Y'all seen that movie? Disney movie, A Bug's Life?
Yeah.
With the ants and stuff in there. You seen that movie, El?
Yeah, I seen that. That was our era. Well, right after our era, but I'll still watch that.
Right. My Uncle Diggity say, them same groups got to be responsible for cleaning and leading the community too. Without scrutiny, we need crime and unnatural death as far away from us as possible. The old-fashioned way, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a fact, man.
Black Wall Street.
Yeah, and you gotta think though, man. Black Wall Street wasn't the only. It was these were communities all across the. Like I said, in my city, Columbus, Ohio. In my city, Columbus, Ohio, man, we have Mount Vernon Avenue. We got the King's Arts District. We got them over there at Franklin Park area by Franklin Park, where my grandma used to live before she passed. The big dumbass house got many mansions over there where mostly black folks live over there. Now it's not, because all them people died off, and the white people came in there, and the community, the LGBTQ, LMNOQ barbecue community that came in there and bought them stuff, man. You know what I mean? Y'all see it's happening in y'all cities too, man. It's happening all across the country, man. It's nothing exclusive to where you at and see it and experience it, man. And this goddamn censorship, man, we cannot allow, man. We can't do it. We have to not censor, especially self-censor. We have to be, allowing ourselves to interact with people and, allow people to have the freedom to say what they want to say without getting offended. You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff is going to contribute to a truly free society, man. Is the complete opposite of what our society is right now. You hear me? And when it comes to this goddamn censorship, especially concerning our masculinity, man, they do not want us to be men for lots of reasons, man, because men, free thinking, critical thinking, you know what I'm saying, brave men who are not afraid to die, basically put their life on the line for what they believe in as far as like their community or whatever like that. They don't want them type of guys, man. They want these old buck broken type dudes, man, who willing to turn on us, man, and, you know, feed us bullshit ass information that ain't helping us elevate or nothing like that. You know, it's a serious situation, man. Very serious situation, man. And like I said, when it comes to the censorship part, though, you know what I'm saying? The censorship part is very critical. Just keep in mind, I say the worst type of censorship is self-censorship. This is the epitome of cognitive dissonance. Double think. You hear me? And I want y'all to exercise y'all's freedom to think. Realize that the thoughts you are thinking, are they originally yours? I know when I ask a question like that, I know it's like, damn, what this nigga talking about? But no, ask yourself, are the thoughts that you thinking, are they yours? Do they come from you? Remember when I told y'all about voice to skull technology? Yeah, exactly, Lance. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And we absolutely, men, my brethren, man. We have to defend masculinity at all costs. You hear me?
Like, this is the thing, man. It's cool to have masculinity and it's cool to have femininity. Like, I don't understand why it's an issue with why it can't coexist.
It can coexist though, but that's the thing. The powers that be don't want it.
They don't want masculinity to.
No, it's not even that they don't want masculinity. They want a manipulated form of masculinity. They want masculinity under the disguise of being femininity, and they want femininity under the disguise of being masculinity. They want to totally invert the original design. It's very Saturn. It's very demonic.
No, what's crazy is I'll take it back to when I first even looked into the Black Lives Matter campaign. When I first seen and everybody was talking about it, so I went to go to the website, you know, just to kind of look and see what it was about. And I go to the website, and I remember, you know, it was like a hot topic at that time. And I'm looking, and if you look, it had like a woman. It talked about the women like programs, and then it had like the LGBTQ. It talked about that, and then it had the family, and the family was 2 women and a kid, and it talked about the family aspect. And nowhere on that website in any of those tabs,
exactly, Skelly,
it had a breakdown for each one and what the organization was basically designed to do for each group. But in the group with the family, it had 2 women and a kid. And there was even no mentions of a man on the Black Lives Matter original website.
Right.
So, you know, to me, when I seen that, like I already was like feeling away, but that even further to me that if this is on the Black Lives Matter for Black families, and you basically portraying it as you're gonna be gay, you're gonna be a woman, or you're gonna have a 2-woman household. Like, to me, it just was kind of faulty, and I really didn't like it. So it kind of turned me off to where I never really caught a liking for the Black Lives Matter. You know, like I said, and that was simple research. Literally, that was the first thing I went to was the website. I didn't even have to do any more research, and I took it to I remember I put it in a group chat with a bunch of the homies, and they got pissed off at me. Like, they didn't even want me talking about it. Like, they was talking shit and everything to me. Like, it was crazy. Like, cause that kind of shit divide people. So I don't even like to even talk about a lot of that stuff. Politics, religion, there's certain subjects that you can't talk to everybody about because people get too emotionally attached to certain conversations, and it's the sensitivity and the censorship of what we're talking about that people want to censor things that challenges their way of thinking or their opinion. Like, they always want to censor it, and they don't even want to hear it. Same thing that was happening to Kevin Samuels and why people were celebrating his death. You know, this happens all kind of people. If they don't like what you say, they might just rather you die and go away. So it's messed up. But
Right.
yeah.
Hey, my man Lance Parker, man, that's beautiful insight, brother. You hear me?
Yes, it is.
This is the perfect display of the inversion, right? My man just said earlier, my man Lance Parker said that feminine males are least likely to challenge the system, whereas masculine women are more likely to protect the system. See the inversion?
Mm-hmm.
Fake masculinity and fake femininity.
Yeah.
We see this put on display, and that's why we had the conversation we had last night. Because, like I said, it segued perfect into what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
See, everything's connected, man. I want y'all to pay attention to that. How everything we talk about over here at April Talk Podcast is connected. You hear me?
Yeah. And love is the only thing that's going to transcend the times, Uncle Diggity. That's the truth right there, man. At the end of the day, it's all about love. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all this shit, hatred, that don't make nothing good. It only tears people, societies, lives apart. Hate. So I never understood it. It's something that to me can never really be explained. That's why sometimes when I catch myself saying I hate something, I'm like, you know what? I strongly dislike it because I really don't hate anything.
Yeah, hate is such a strong word.
It
Hate
is.
is really the opposite of what you not trying to say. Let me come up for this, man. Let me break it.
Yeah, I don't hate anything. Like,
Because a lot of us are confused about what love is too.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody ever asked the question what love is not. Ask themselves that.
That's a good question.
Right. When y'all think about love, right? In this reality, right? When we think about love or how we've been programmed to think about love, we've been programmed to think about love as if it is something that we have to obtain or get, something we have to earn, something we can give away, right? So we've been lied to. Love is what we are at our essence. It's literally what we are made of. Love made manifest. Right? So y'all gotta get the over, inner, outer understanding of not only just what love is as far as in this reality, right? But who you are, right? Which is love. Not what love is, but who is love. It is us. It's literally what we are made of. Right? Y'all gotta over, inner, outer understand that, man. So when you think about love, it's not something to be given or something to be gained or obtained. It's literally what we are. You hear me?
Uncle Diggity. To erase the demon completely is to think of it as non-existent and never speak again. Because you can't breathe if you ain't spoke on. That's how you kill existence, by not even speaking of it. You know? So
but just because you don't speak of it does that doesn't mean that it's not gonna be there. Let me tell y'all something, man, when it comes, and me and my dad are gonna get to this, man. You hear me? And that's why we say it's levels to this shit, man. When it comes to these demons, man, you gotta send them back to where they come from, man. You hear me? And that's why I say we are love made manifest. Because since we are love made manifest, this is abilities that we can have once we remember that who we are is love, not what we can give away or get or obtain is love. Conflict creates controversy, causes confusion. I don't believe in it at all because it's all illusions. No difference between us because I am you and you are me. Everything is us and we are everything, which is love. Right?
Real shit.
You hear me? And that's why we say we must protect freedom of speech at all costs. We must protect our freedom of expression, but natural expression in its natural meaning and design, not this weird, manipulated, imposed upon, demon time shit that they're trying to push on us with this telling us our kids can be sexualized at lowering the consent age to possibly 6. What do y'all know about that? You hear me? Exactly, Uncle Diggity. That's why, certain people been given the authority to do certain things, man. You hear me? And when you've been given the authority to speak, you should goddamn speak, man. You hear me? And shouldn't nothing prevent you from doing that. You should be willing to lose everything you got in order to speak the truth. You hear me? Especially nowadays, y'all. Because as y'all see, we're being ever more led to not speak the truth. We're being ever more led, matter of fact, to don't even think about the truth. Right? Not your truth. Your truth don't mean shit. Not my truth. My truth don't mean shit. The truth. That's the only truth that matters. Not a truth, not your truth, not my truth, not his truth or theirs. No, the truth. That's the only truth that matters. Right? And we gotta get away from all of that mind fuckery that's going on now, man. We big mind fuckery that's going on right now, y'all. And you know what I'm saying? Like I say, we can't be afraid to say what needs to be said, man. You hear me? We can't be afraid to speak out against these little groups. They're small. They're like small in their numbers. There are less than 2-digit percentage of the total of population of the planet. And they got all this power and influence. 8 billion something of us on this planet. We talking about less than 1%. Somebody do the math on what 1% of 8 billion is. Right? If our mission is thought-based, then our words are our biggest weapon. We can't be exactly. That's my whole point, Uncle Diggity. That's the entire point. Silence is compliance. One of the tenets of the Ingsoc regime in Oceania in 1984, silence equals compliance. And it does. You sit up there and say, well, I ain't gonna, and say quiet, you're going to be quiet. Like I say, man, first they came for the Christians, and they came for the trade unionists, and they came for the Jews, and they came for everybody else. But when they came for me, wasn't no else, nobody left to speak out for me. Y'all better understand how real this is, man. Like I say, our freedom to speak is connected with our freedom to think. When you don't speak something, eventually you won't think it, right? New speak, double think. This is what we seeing in our society, and they're making us think that old terrible looking ass Hope Giselle, man. Like that's what a woman is. That's what we see is a depiction of femininity now, huh? Women, actual females and women. Y'all go okay with that? Y'all gonna stand for this? Y'all running the line and line yourselves with them to go against us. We're just being so divided, so separated, right? And when real ones come out and say stuff that, you gotta have that thick skin to take it though. But like what my man just said, you cannot remain silent. You must be willing to risk everything, man. You hear me? But pretty soon, if we be quiet and keep acquiescing and complying and bowing down, right? through the censorship, it'll take over. And now we're gonna be in the 1984 society where we got the telescreens in our house, and we on some old Demolition Man where we can't touch each other. We can't say certain things. We get fined for cursing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then even we take it to equilibrium, we get hit with being a sense offender, where you're not allowed to feel anymore either. You got to take a hourly inoculation throughout the day that prevents you from feeling emotion and feeling sympathy, and not sympathy but empathy.
Yeah.
Y'all go check that movie Equilibrium out.
Oh, wow.
You hear me? What y'all know about that? This is the stuff that's coming in our society right now, man. We being ever more made to be non-empathetic, right? And if you take away the freedom to speak, you know what I'm saying, who's going to question anything? Then nobody questions anything, and then everybody just goes along with anything. And that means these people can just tell us anything and do anything, and nobody's going to question it or challenge it. I'll tell you one thing for sure, man. Over here at Goddamn it, A Real Talk Podcast, in conjunction with Art Media LLC, man, you hear me? We ain't going. You know, we defend freedom of speech at all costs. That's where color, religion, that's where all that stuff go out the window, man. Because if I don't have the freedom to say what I want to say, that means you ain't got the freedom to say what you want to say. And I will defend what you want to say, even if I vehemently disagree with what you say. I want to say, I'm going to defend your right to say what you want to say the most, more so than I would this guy right here. I would defend the rights of somebody who I would terribly disagree with on probably most things. I would defend their right to do that. You hear me? And that's the level we got to get to, because this stuff is coming, man. Andrew Tate, they just erasing. Think of all the people we can think about. David Icke, Alex Jones, Farrakhan at one point. You hear me? Think about the people who just been erased from the internet, erased from social engineering, erased from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. The memory hole. This is why I keep telling y'all to read 1984. This is the memory hole. We're watching the memory hole and the Ministry of Truth being established right in our faces, using it through social engineering, or what we call social media. You hear me? But like I said, pretty soon we're gonna have the telescreens in our house. We already do. How many TVs you got hanging on the wall in your house that has access to the internet, where you can watch YouTube and you can watch whatever streaming services you want to watch on your TV? You understand? Your TV is connected to the World Wide Web, which means it's connected to the smart grid and the Internet of Things.
Shit, every TV now, or you got a device hooked up to it to do it.
If you have a computer, that's a telescreen.
Yep.
You got a smartphone. We all got a phone. That's a telescreen, a portable telescreen. All right. So, man, I'm just saying, y'all, man, y'all better gotta pay attention to what's going on, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Share on your social engineering. Tell your friends, man. Come tap in with my man Virgil, aka Stacks with the Facts. You know what I'm talking about? Come on and tap on in with us. We going in every day. Tomorrow, my man Christian gonna be on the program. Listen, all my young brothers out there that's aspiring to be a mechanic, y'all want to tap in tomorrow. My brother Christian coming on the show. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Christian. Christian who?
The business moves for itself. Say what?
Christian who?
Nigga, you know Christian, man.
Oh, we was just at the Pusha T concert on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me, Christian, we all linked up. Tribe Dave from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you already know, man. You know my nigga Chris, my brother Christian gonna be on the. He gonna be on the show tomorrow, dropping gems on this mechanic gang. You know, working on cars gang, man.
That's what I thought you was talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna have my man Christian on here tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? He wants to come in here and drop some game on the mechanic gang. You know what I'm saying? The do's and the don'ts. You know what I'm saying? The trials and tribulations. Man, he doing his thing. About to open up his own shop. You know what I'm talking about? Going in. You know what I'm saying? And all of that, man. Plus, he just my homie, you know what I mean? We talk about some other stuff too, you know what I mean?
That's a
So
good
we'll talk
dude.
tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Thursday night, ladies' night. I gotta make sure it's all the way locked in, and I'm going to make sure tomorrow. So I'm not even going to make the post of it until I know it's all the way for sure locked in tomorrow. And that's what I'm going to. So ladies' night, I'm going to have something special for y'all, something different. You know what I'm saying? And of course, on Friday night, we're going to do a different wrap up, man. We're going to do a different style wrap up, man. It's 2 movies we're going to break down on Friday, man. It came out. We're going to do The Woman King on Friday, and we're going to do a movie called American Refugees. Y'all got to go check this movie out, man. You hear me, man? We got Erica Alexander, Maxine from Living Single in there. It got goddamn it, what's my name? Nigga homie name Derek Luke plays in it. It's an ill bugged out movie, man. Go check it out. It's called American Refugee.
Hey, I gotta make one announcement now. Tomorrow is gonna be a year anniversary for my album, The Summer's Mine.
Right.
It's the last day of the summer, so I'm gonna put the link right now in the comment section for any platform. You got Tidal, you got Spotify, whatever you got. You go in there, you'll find your link. Go right out to that. As soon as you get off, you can ride out to that. That's gonna be a dope ride, and you can ride out to that all day tomorrow. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna do a breakdown of it soon too. We're gonna definitely get the breakdown of that album.
Definitely does, Lance, man. All right, then, Skelly, man. My man Skelly in the building getting up through, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying, y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, tap in tomorrow, man. We're gonna be chopping it up with my brother Christian, man. Dropping some game with y'all, man. Tap in tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, click on the bell. You know what I'm saying? Share on your social engineer and all that. Tell all your friends to come tap in with us. Come subscribe to the page as well. You know what I'm saying? We chop up real good game, real good info over here. You hear me talk about real issues, real stuff, and we come up with solutions. You know what I'm saying? Me and El, we about to get together. So behind the scenes, man, we're gonna have to put something together with a little link up situation with my brethren in the city, man. You know what I'm saying? My nigga Jay Jermaine and like my homie number 1 fly guy, man. We have to get together and put something together. You know, tone back. You know what I mean?
We could do, yeah, we definitely could do that, bro. What you doing on Friday? What we got? We doing the movie joints, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do The Woman King and that movie, American Refugees. I suggest y'all watch that movie, man.
Yeah, so now I gotta do some work. You got me working.
American Refugee. Y'all got the fire stick, man. Just sit back. I think it's like an hour and some change, like hour and 30, 40 minutes, something like that. Watch the movie. It's an ill, bugged out movie, man. I could tell just by the little bit I saw, like, oh yeah, I gotta sit down and watch this. You hear me? We're gonna talk in that Woman King movie too, man. We're gonna go in on the Woman King from an aspect, an angle. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean, most people ain't gonna talk about it. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna dissect that though. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're gonna dissect that. You hear me? So we thank everybody for coming out, man. You know what I mean? Hit that like button on your way out. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that subscribe and bell. Subscribe to the page on your way out. You dig? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find something for y'all to ride on out to real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, if y'all need music or anything like that, I put my email in the comments too. So if y'all need the catalog, whether y'all need Stacks album info, y'all need the E&E album, any of the individual albums from Glitch, I even got some unreleased joints. I will personally send it to you, but I will put you also on the email thread where eventually we're about to start sending out some music to people and give some people early access to some of the things we do moving forward. So, you know what I mean? Just let me know if y'all need that music. Hit that email up that I just dropped in there, and y'all be good. But I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's always peace, love, and blessings. You already know what it is. Great energy and vibes. You already won when you woke up today, got out that bed.
You heard me.
You about to go back to sleep and do it all again. So, you know what I mean? One thing I'll say is, at the end of the day, one thing Stack spoke on, you know, don't let nobody censor you. You know, say what you feel, and that's what you go off of. At the end of the day, you gotta feel how you can't let people start draining your feelings. You know, live in your energy, live in your light, and make sure you make positive moves. Keep your energy on light, and you'll always be great. And that's how you do it. All right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, then, man. I'll holler at you, brethren.
You know what I mean? All right, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You already know what it is, man. Beautiful show. I thank everybody for coming out, man. You know what I'm talking about. Hit all them links tomorrow. We're going in. We got my brother Christian on the show. We're going to drop some games, man. It's my brother right here, man. I've been wanting to come on the show, too, because, you know what I'm saying, I've been knowing this guy since we was young boys, man, just to see what he doing, man. He made a way for him that he work on his own schedule. You know what I'm saying? He doing a lot of other things, too, man. About to open up his own shop. You know what I'm saying? Got everything going on, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. So I just like to get, like I said, I like to give my brothers their proper shot. You hear me? Yeah, man. Like I said, hit my man there, open the email y'all to get any of our content, any of our music, you know what I'm saying? Hit up L. He'll definitely get you together, send you all the links you need to all the different streaming platforms and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Support the E&E music. You already know, hit that like button and all of that. Subscribe to the page. We're just going to keep the dope content coming for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming out. Y'all can be anywhere world, but y'all right here with me. And since we had L on the show tonight, it's only right that we got to play a joint off of one of his albums. You know what I'm saying? This is off of that 1111. One of my favorite tracks. You know what I'm talking about? We're going in, y'all. $100 million ain't enough, man. We need 100 million more times a million, times 100 million, times a billion, times infinity. You hear me? Y'all enjoy y'all's evening, man. Love y'all, man. Hit that like button on the way out, man. Tell everybody to come tap in and subscribe. Tell all your friends, man. Tell everybody they're welcome. They're all welcome.
After I cook it up, this is it, baby. After they book me up, this is it, baby. Wanna find me, look up, this is it, baby. Checkmate from the rook up, this is it, baby. After I cook it up, this is it, baby. After they book me up, this is it, baby. Wanna find me, look up, this is it, baby. Checkmate from the rook up, this is it, baby. After I cook it up, this is it, baby. After they book me up, this is it, baby. Wanna find me, look up, this is it, baby. Checkmate from the rook up, this is it, baby. $100 million ain't enough for me. $250,000 flat, that's my starter fee. Nigga, you could go and check my discography. Every line I write be part of my biography. Reason they can't move like king cause they fucked up on policy. I live with no regrets, so no apologies. $100 million ain't enough for me. $250,000 flat, that's my starter. Trying to teach my stepson how life could be more fruitful. Then they wonder why they losing. They ain't listen like they used to. Listen, I done played the streets where them niggas really be buku. Ask for it, they knock your head off. So now to prove you, you never catch king congregating with all the falsified. Through the darkest eyes, mesmerized by how they never die. After I cook it up, this is it, baby. After they book me up, this is it, baby. Wanna find me, look up, this is it, baby. Checkmate from the rook up, this is it, baby. $100 million ain't enough for me. $250,000 flat, that's my starter fee. Nigga, you could go and check my discography. Every line I write be part of my biography. Reason they can't move like king cause they fucked up on policy. I live with no regrets, so no apologies. $100 million ain't enough for me. $250,000 flat, that's my starter. They having trouble seeing through the fog, homie king up on cloud nine. Fiend style, my pack BG jumping from the foul line. Keep that 9 on me like old school phone trying to dial out. Back when they used to put the locks on before they wild out. One thing they could tell you, King always been impeccable. Built it up at night, to the right, I pushed the decimals. As for the O's, yo, I need an extra few. Another level in my house, I need an extra view. After I cook it up, this is it, baby. After they book me up, this is it, baby. Wanna find me, look up, this is it, baby. Checkmate from the rook up, this is it, baby. $100 million ain't enough for me. $250,000 flat, that's my starter fee. Nigga, you could go and check my discography. Every line I write be part of my biography.